Here we are today to talk about spiritual tip number 6.
Six, 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 six. Yeah, I wanted to make it sound fun, okay?
Oh, it's fun. So, what's on my mind lately
Oh,
is
here we go, people.
getting caught up in the games of life, the game of life, getting caught up in other people's dramas. And, there's a lot that's going on in our environment, and it's important to be aware of that. You need to know, you need to be aware, you need to have those facts so that you know how to navigate through life. At least that's what I find. But keep it in perspective. Some of the troubles that people go through are their troubles. They've attracted them. I haven't attracted them. But I need to be clear about, what some of those pitfalls are when I start working with those folks and, be aware of what is me and what is not me. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, so let me say this. What I hear you saying, Tom, is that being able to understand what other people are going through and recognize for yourself when you need to be a part of that game or not a part of that game. Is that what I hear you saying?
That was beautifully put.
Okay, so yeah, I get it.
And the way that I do that is you know, get into I feel it, I can feel whether this is my opportunity, if this is something that feels good to me, or it feels like I'm on the right track. I mean, there's a lot of ways I could describe my feelings. They come in, the ways of those 4 gifts that we talk about, for me, it's get pictures, and then I have an understanding or words, and then or thoughts. That's another way to say my intuitive part. And then the feeling, like that's the gut feeling part, and that inner knowing. So using my inner resources and then checking with my guidance, is this my opportunity? Because one of the keys is, uh, that's important and that I've had to really regroup over time is, be aware of sharing too much too soon with people. In other words, you're really infringing on their free will, and allow people to have some of those opportunities. We've shared this before, that, you see are troubles, but, maybe they need to learn a little bit from that. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, and for myself, this perspective of, allowing other people to play the games they need to play and for me to know when to move in or move out has really been something that has been life-changing for myself in the sense of, I'm around different people that I'm either caring for or I live close with or I, maybe have a relationship with and recognizing that we're all going through our learnings. And so knowing for myself when need to move in or move out is so important. So I'll just say that like for my mom who lives close to me, I know I use my mom as a reference all the time because we have a wonderful relationship now where we're able to, interact with each other and also do healing work around, things to heal from our past together. And it's been a really great situation and an area to observe things for myself for sure. And so this has come into play because she deals with other people outside of me who sometimes stimulate her, like we all have, right? We all have people that stimulate us. And so when she's stimulated in certain ways from other people, I know that I don't need to be involved in that because that's just not a game that I need to play with. And vice versa. When I'm involved in things that she doesn't need to be involved in, she might know on in her own way that, yeah, I don't need to be involved in that. That's what Teresa's going through or Teresa's involved with. So that's just a good example for myself, how I make it practical. So how do you make it practical,
Well,
Tom?
that word reverent comes to me, the key word of reverence, reverent. And if I'm reverent with myself, it's amazing. I can be reverent with everybody else. If I have that inner self-respect for what I want to experience or how I want to feel, naturally it flows that I have respect for other people and their experience. But a big key for me is that, when I get stimulated, say by relatives or people that I really am close to, I just really have to check with my feelings and recheck with my guidance. Is that my opportunity? Because sometimes it is my opportunity to help out. and step in. But the key is for me to know when, and that's really working with spirit. That's really walking with spirit, when I can truly be of service for those folks who want to have a positive impact. That's a big key, is just working with your guidance and the timing of what you say or how much you get involved, and just double check. But often, you just know, or you get that impression, or you've learned from experience, what to delve into and what not to delve into. But I think the key is that I know for me, I've had to, kind of relearn, don't judge them for going through it. I mean, that's all part of their experience. That's just as I wouldn't judge myself so much for going through something. I can evaluate, say, hey, I really don't enjoy doing this, or I don't like being caught up in that. I want to stay clean and clear and smooth and move through life, in a more positive way and have more positive experiences. So, if I'm reverent with my experience, I'll be more reverent with others, is the big key.
Yeah, and I think also that it depends upon the person. And so again, I gave my example of my mom, but let me give an example of Tom. So obviously we live, work, and play together. So the things that I'm going through, I mean, he
Right.
he recognizes when that's Teresa's stuff, or oh, okay, this is our stuff together. So here's a situation that presented itself the other night. So I got very stimulated. At nighttime, we're tired. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but we get up. I get up. Tom gets up 5:30, 6 o'clock. So do I. By time it's 5 or 6, 7 o'clock rolls around, I'm tired, and so is he. And this is when we notice that these games or other energies might come in to trigger us, throw us off, and then that creates an interaction between us. So this happened the other night where I can't remember what I got stimulated about, but does it really matter? No. I got stimulated and I wouldn't let it go. And I got stimulated and I had a thought about a certain situation in my life. And this energy came in and just really stimulated me more. So I was going at it, going at it, going at it. And it was a game I was playing with this other energy. And so Tom recognized that, oh, okay, this is, I can't go anywhere with this. So what did Tom do? He left the situation. I got myself together, cleansed, I calmed down, and he came back in and we were able to regroup what came in, what triggered it, also what triggered him, because obviously if I'm playing a game close to a loved one, they might have some inner ways to interact, or they may have a part of it that also is for them. Okay. So just like with my mom, some of the things she does go through is for me too. So I know when I need to work on that or interact with there. So it was a real interesting situation that happens quite often because of course we're human and energies, and I'm very sensitive and so is Tom. So what would you like to share about that situation, Tom?
Yeah. At the end of the day, your buffer can get low.
Mhm.
We have a big electromagnetic field around us, which is our aura. And the more that I maintain that, is stay cleansed and relaxed, then it's harder for that energy to move in on me. So sometimes, our bad habits, we may, in that particular instance, I had this subtle thought of teasing Teresa about something. And then I noticed that every time it sort of moves in on me like that, where I just think I'm playing around and teasing her and, giving her a hard time about something or kidding her or something. And then it moves, the energy moves into something else. So, you know, but that's all about self-awareness. It's like we know better. We know better than to play poor little me.
Well, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell when something's moved in on you, because you have, like, the thoughts just can't, you just keep arguing with yourself, or, it's going back and forth. And the big key is what I did was I just kind of changed my energy. I just went up, and actually I went and took a shower and got dressed for the evening, and, came back down. And then, then we both look at each other like, what was that all about?
What game do we just
That
play
wasn't
in?
us, so.
Right.
So what was the thing we opened with? Oh, being aware of getting caught in others.
Hmm.
And so what I wanted to share a little bit about too is that in the environment right now and in the media, you'll see lots of things happening, and people getting caught up in their troubles and so forth. And it is important to be aware of it. It's important for me to be aware of maybe tendencies that people around me have, but it's also important that I stay detached somewhat from it. So, what will make things worse is I try to change Teresa's experience of whatever she was going through, you should know better and this and that and the other, and unless it checks with my guidance, that's the whole key is knowing when to move in and when to move out. Working with spirit, that's the most fun, and how they make life easier for me is knowing when to move in and when to move out, when to be of service, when to allow people to have their learning experience. But I need to maintain that inner respect for myself so that, I can stay detached from the other person's experience so that I can, or how they're, the emotional trauma that they're going through or whatever. And I say trauma because it's a word out there all the time,
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
hope that the spiritual tip number 6, that you guys understood what we were talking about.
Yeah.
And playing the games of that you might be playing or other people might be playing, and how to stay
Stay
detached.
detached. Yeah.
That word
Yeah.
detached. Or
When to stay detached.
when to stay detached, or also when to play the game, because maybe there's a learning for you in that.
Yeah.
So
It's
that
okay to
is
play the game.
absolutely, that is spiritual tip number 6.
Spiritual tip number 6.
Enjoy, everyone. Thank you so much again for listening in to another episode. We appreciate you so, so very much. And until next week, remember that
Life
is too short to not be
enthusiastic about your unique
journey. Hey, everyone. For a spiritual perspective that you won't find anywhere else but right here, please make sure you subscribe.